Alright, taking a look at BET here on the daily. It looks like we did break this green box of support to the downside, so I've turned it red as we are now using it as resistance. And it looks like we retested this previous high right here as the bottom, at least temporarily. So I'm going to move this green line of support up to reflect this. If we zoom in here a little bit, you can actually see that we did find some support at the bottom of this red box here. We had around a 20% move to the upside here, but ultimately the candle really didn't provide any meaningful information here. You can see that we didn't even break this previous red candle to the upside, so this wasn't really looking all that great. And you can see when we did break below here, we are currently testing the red box as resistance now, and ultimately we are still in a downtrend here, so we still have to expect this to find a further move down. And this is at least until we start breaking some of these previous highs back here. Turn on the EMA ribbon and the Ichimoku cloud on the daily. You can see that we've had a couple of tests of the EMA ribbon already, but it keeps sending us further down. This is pretty much to be expected, especially considering we usually never break this the first time to the upside, especially on the daily chart. And what will be interesting here is to see if we can really start testing the EMA ribbon to the upside and re-entering this zone of support. If we can break this to the upside and use it as support again, we have a pretty decent chance of breaking the Ichimoku cloud to the upside as well. As you can see, it's relatively thin here. But if Bitcoin keeps tanking, it's probably going to drag this with it. So that's just something to keep in mind. We could easily do something like this where we set a lower high from this one, get rejected out of the EMA ribbon and fall further down. The EMA ribbon and the Ichimoku cloud on the 4-hourly are looking alright. The EMA ribbon is getting tested heavily throughout this range, which is a good sign. We really need to test this and break it to the upside and use it as support. Usually, the more often we test the EMA ribbon, the more likely we are to break it to the upside, but we do have the Ichimoku cloud ahead of us as well as this red box of resistance, so we do have quite a big hurdle to jump throughout this range. Ultimately, if we can find a pretty decent move up here and use this area as support, we could very well be entering a new uptrend, and ultimately, again, we will need to start breaking some of these previous highs. The hourly really isn't telling us much. It's pretty choppy throughout this range, so the EMA ribbon and the Ichimoku cloud really aren't going to give us much information. You can see we almost tested the 200 EMA here, but ultimately it led to a rejection. Currently we are underneath the Ichimoku cloud on the hourly, but again, we are trading sideways here, so it's not really giving us much. So to sum things up here, if this green line is in the bottom, which is sitting around 32 cents, we could very well find a move to the 1618, which is this red line sitting around 16 cents. If we can manage to hold this area as support, we ultimately need to break above this previous red box of resistance, as the EMAs and the Ichimoku cloud on the daily and the 4-hourly are pretty much within this range here. So again, we need to break this area to the upside, use it as support, so that way we can find another move up. And the top of this red box is sitting around 50 cents. Now this is very important to remember. If Bitcoin does continue tanking, it'll likely take this with it. So just a word of caution. This is all I have for BAT today. If you enjoyed this video, go into the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so, as I try to post content daily. As always, this is not financial advice, and I'll see you in the next one.